Okay, good day. This is an updated video I made for you because I've had many inquiries of people asking me how to set up your cPanel email on Outlook. So I've made this video so simplified so that anyone who's a business owner or anyone who has never done it before is able to do it on one go. So since I'll be showing you how to set up a cPanel email on your Outlook. So first it starts with logging into your cPanel provider. So in this case, we'll be using IMAP Cloud, which is our cPanel provider. So we have to log into our client portal so that we can get access to cPanel and get to emails. So once you have logged in here, it will take you to your account page. Once you have logged in many cases, most of them will show you services, domains, and all the services that you have with them. So in this case, we have two services. We click on services. It should take us to the next page. It take us to the next page where we will see our current services with a particular provider. So for instance, here we are looking for this particular domain. We click on the active domain and it should take us to the homepage of that particular domain page, and many providers will show you on quick shortcuts where you find emails. But for providers that do not show you the shortcuts to emails directly, you have to look for the button which says login to cPanel. So this one will be able to get to our emails. So once we get to cPanel, under tools, which is usually the first in many cases because cPanel is standard, you'll be able to see that there are email accounts on the top, and in those email accounts you click on that first button, and in here you'll see your current emails. But for instance, this is a new account, you won't be seeing anything on the bottom here, and your first thing to do will be to create the email. So you have to navigate to the button which is here, which says create button, and you click that create button, and the create button will take you in a page like this where it says email accounts, and here we're about to create an email address for your new domain. So you don't have to create the whole your personal name George at your domain. No, you just have to write just the name because that last part is already there. So you just create your name here. So one thing that I've just forgotten, when you are starting to do all this, it's always advisable to open a notepad like this one and just put it on the side so that you are able to copy information and put it back when we need to. So in this case, we've created our email, and for password, I'll just use a default generated password. We copy that password, and that's what we'll use that notepad for. We'll paste it for here because we will know it, but in your case, maybe you know your password by password by head, so you just remember it because we'll need it when we're setting up on Outlook. So the next part, you click create, and you can view here right on the top that it says successfully created that your first business email. So the next part now is to understand how do we take this information to Outlook. So before we go there, there's just a few pointers that I would want to point you at. So I want to make you understand what these buttons mean and how to navigate your emails in the future. So I'll start with the manage button. So the manage button, when you click it, in the near future, maybe you've forgotten your password for some reason, this is where you want to come back and reset it. If you have forgotten a password, make sure you log into your client portal, go to cPanel, and here it says new password. You are able to reset your password here. So for security reasons, it does not keep your old password that you're able to see it here, but you're just able to reset and have a new password. And maybe your inbox is full. It's always good to come and change the allocation. This one has been allocated 1 gig. You can change it to 3 gig, which is 3000 megabytes, or you can just click unlimited so that it uses the whole space that you are probably paying for at your hosting provider. And then always remember to click update settings so that it updates your settings. So in this case, since we've updated settings, it's always good to, if we've updated, let's also update the password so that we always have a new password that is up to date. And so for my case, I'm always going to paste everything that I'm doing at this side on that notepad. So that's all about the manage button. The second button we can learn about is the check email. So the check email button this is where you access the actual email. In case you don't have Outlook at the moment, you are still able. So this is for, you pretty much see this notification for all first timers when you're opening your first email for the first time. So always click this button which says open on my inbox on the next login so that you don't have to land on this page every time. So we're using the default cPanel software called Roundcube, which still gives us access to our emails on the webmail portal. So for some people, this is perfectly fine, but for the purpose of this video, we are teaching you how to set this up on your Outlook. So the first email that comes by default, which is an auto email, is your mail client manual settings. So these are the settings that we are going to use to set up on our Outlook. So it's always best practice. For now, I'll copy all this and copy all the settings and put them on that notepad, because we will need this as we go. So I've put my settings on the side. So in the near future, maybe you've changed laptops, or you've changed desktop for some reason, and you might want these same settings, and maybe the email is 1 year old and it might be difficult to dig and find this particular email. So cPanel already has us covered on that. If you come here on connect devices, you click connect devices, that's the third button, and you still see those very same manual settings to add your email that we received on our first email are also already there on our connect devices button. So we'll still the very same settings here. So we can keep this page open for now and now move on to Outlook. So here's Outlook open. We go on the top left, we click file and we click add account. So this one already has some emails there. So for yours, maybe you might not have any email in the Outlook, so you might see something different. It might be blank for a new starter. So once you get into Outlook, you have to type in the email. For in my case, I had already copied all those details here, so I'm just copying and pasting. You click on advanced and you always click let me do this manually, because remember the settings that we have are for manual, but in some cases it might work automatically, but it's always best practice to click the let me set my account manually after you put your email and then click connect. So as it starts loading, we give it a few seconds and it should take us to the next page so that we're able to enter the following details. So here many people get confused on this page, so I want you to understand where this information is coming from. So when we go to that information here, where on this page where it says mail client, mail client manual settings, it does gives us options. We have incoming server, outgoing server, and all these settings. So how do these settings apply to the screen that we are seeing on Outlook? So here we can see that to connect our email on Outlook, we have two options. We have the IMAP option and we have the POP3 option. This is the second option. So depending on which option you choose, you always have to put the correct number, the correct port number. Otherwise, it will not work. So in this case, I always encourage to use IMAP, because IMAP allows emails to be saved on your device, so that even if you don't have internet, all those emails that have been saved on your device, you are able to still read the emails. You don't have to wait for internet to just read. You only need a connection when you are now sending. But to have your emails saved offline, always choose IMAP. So now let's go back to Outlook and we choose IMAP, and then now the password. So here we already had our password saved here right on the top. We copy our password and we come and paste it here, and then we click connect, and then we wait while Outlook tries to communicate with our cPanel server. So in this case, it was good for us. It automatically connected without needing the manual. So we will proceed with that, and I would want to show you, because it's not always that everyone gets to get it in this way. So once we click done, so now I'm going to show you the manual process for those who might not have it work on the first count. So when you click on file, you go on account settings, we go on server settings. So because ours worked the first time, so for some of you, you might meet the screen if your email saying that it could not find your server. So you might meet the screen. So when you meet the screen, it's not supposed to scare you in any way. So the same way we entered our email, we entered our password, remember password. So now when we go back to our server, when we go back to our cPanel, it says incoming server settings. So you have in some incoming server. The incoming server is mail dot. We copy this. It's going to be different for everyone for depending with how your service provider has configured their server. So that's the one that you paste here. So for ours, it was able to connect it automatically and find it. So if you didn't find it, you have to assist it with entering your server, your incoming server, because here we are under incoming mail server, and you enter your incoming server details here. And the port, since we have chosen IMAP, the port for IMAP is 993, and you come back to your Outlook, you enter that 993, and then for outgoing servers, the same thing. We go on we go on a cPanel page. You will see that it's requiring outgoing server is the same thing. Mail, it's exactly identical to incoming server. We copy the same and we paste it here. The port is 465. Let's just confirm this is the port 465. That's correct. That's what we should always take note of, and make sure that those ports are the same based on what option we have chosen. And then the next one is these manual settings are using a secure connection system, which is called secure SSL/TSL settings recommended. So we have to always make sure that our Outlook is using the same. So here it shows encryption method SSL/TSL. If you go on your incoming as well, always confirm it's using the same SSL/TSL. There are many options, however, but for our particular cPanel, it recommends SSL/TSL. So always go with what your provider is offering. And then always click my outgoing SMTP requires authentication. This is good because when it doesn't require authentication, your emails can be hacked. So always tick these buttons and always make sure that it's the same settings that are recommended by your cPanel provider. And then with that, you are able to just click next, and then your emails should start to connect to the server, and you can see account successfully updated. And that was it. And you can see I'm receiving a notification. That is the first email as a test email that comes from Outlook to say we are testing your server to see that your emails are working. So you can see here, this is an email sent automatically by Microsoft Outlook while testing the settings on your account. So it shows that we have successfully added our cPanel email on our Outlook. Panel will be able. Knowing how to do it doesn't always mean you should do it alone. If you're a business owner and you find yourself juggling your business during the day and battling in the night to fix the tech side of your business, it might be time to bring in the experts. We at IMAP Trends are a full service development agency, and we have helped countless businesses like you to build up their tech side of things. We can help you from developing websites, mobile applications, and real-world business applications that you might need for your business. Go to our website, www.imaptrends.com, book the non-obligation call, and we'll be on the other side to understand your vision and give you strategic vision on how you can bring that idea from being just an idea to a real-world application. See you soon.